Welcome back, everybody, to Glan Y Gors. Apologies for the technical problems for the first half of this IAME Water Swift final. A bit of a synopsis of what we've seen so far here at the circuit. Lap 1, an incident involving Margaris Kvetskis brought out a slow procedure. We have seen Margaris walk away from the kart and is okay. Very good start for Austin Newstead, is your current race leader from George House. George Clark has been supreme both before and after the slow procedure, is currently up 6 places to 3rd place, and we've just seen a change there. Nicole Sutherland for 4th place. Ozzie Gibson through past the O-plate holder Harry Williams. Moment looking very good for Fusion Motorsport. They're currently holding 1st, 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th positions.
Well, you've got some big movers within this race end, but further down the pack, the likes of Ethan Robertson has gone up 16 positions. Luca Narroway, shortly behind in 15th, is up by 11. But the battle really is going on between the Fusions at the front. You've got Gibson, Williams and Davidson in there in 4th, 5th and 6th, following each other round. Out there in the front, though, it's Austin Newstead from George House. Then, like you said, Andrew Clark there in 3rd, breaking into that top 3 for the first time this weekend after a bit bad luck going down the Dragon Straight in one of his heats earlier on. Looked like maybe his weekend was going to have a spanner in the works, but he's putting this race to good use. Up through that spoon section on top of the hill, and Newstead really is working hard to keep George House at bay. House said nothing attempted just yet. They'll head back up the hill and towards turn number 7, back down the flowing section of the circuit where we really don't see any attempt for overtakes, but watch Clark as they go through the final sector. Under 5 minutes left to go of this race then, no major changes within this lap. Further down the field you've got Williams, Colby, Patterson, Christian Kobe and Mason Hibbert all towing each other round. You've got a bit of a Fusion train going on there in the top 10.
Have indeed. Problems on that last lap. Oscar Miller and Jack Harney have both fallen down the order to 32nd and 31st places respectively. As things stand in terms of championship, still early days of course in the championship, but Harry Williams would remain your championship leader at the end of today. 369 points. That would be a 14-point advantage as things stand over Colby, Patterson, Newstead and House, 3rd and 4th. But there is the more immediate picture of this race win to be decided. 4 minutes to go then. End of lap number 10. Newstead still from House. Gibson through into 3rd place. Ozzie Gibson, a former champion of course in IAME Water Swift Restricted back in 2023, Nicole, was really on the charge, but has now just lost out to his 2 teammates. Through goes Davidson, through goes Clark. Gibson responds back again. This is a great scrap going on for 3rd place. Alfie Davidson, last year's IAME Water Swift Restricted champion, really seems to be back on song after a pretty torrid time at Warden Law for the opening double header of this championship. It's a good scrap there for 3rd place. Well,
it was a good attempt by Clark, but he just left the door through, and that's allowed his 2 teammates back through. But his teammate of Austin Newstead is still out there in the lead ahead of George House. George House then really in a bit of a Fusion sandwich. He's got no XL Motorsport teammates around him to try and help him out. The next closest to him is Colby Patterson, all the way down there in 7th place. So currently it's the 1 XL versus a sea of Fusions. Down the hill they go, and the gap is closed in now between these top 5. Newstead is under pressure from House, but House really has got to think about Davidson right there behind him. Ozzie Newstead on the tail of Davidson, and that is allowing George Clark to chase back in. Can Clark try and pick those 2 positions back off once more?
Well, 13 positions gained at the moment for Luca Narrow is your biggest mover. There is a big move though for 2nd place. Davidson through past George House. Important phase of the race now for Austin Newstead. For the first time in a while, he has a bit of a lead, but it's closing all the time as there's the power of the slipstream. Davidson's down the inside to take the race lead. Great stuff from Alfie Davidson. Bit of an assist from George House, who goes back up to 2nd place. There's not much that Austin Newstead did wrong there, Nicole, but all of a sudden, Austin Newstead, the winner from round 2 at Warden Law, finds himself in 5th place.
Absolutely does. Clark there now in 4th position, so watch them as they head down the hill. House then is still opening this opportunity for the XL Motorsport team to try and get a race win in here. Austin Gibson sat there in 3rd place as your fastest driver on the circuit, up by 3 positions within this race and is chasing House down up the hill. Davidson going defensive as they head up the hill from House. House really on the back bumper, all pushing each other into that corner, and it's closing things up. This really is turning into a 7 or 8 car pack as they head down into that double apex left-hander.
It is indeed. Not long to go. 1 minute and 10 seconds. Alfie Davidson is your race leader, looking to strike back. He didn't make the final in round 2 at Warden Law. That wasn't a result truly reflective of his speed. We know that Alfie Davidson has got raw speed. We also know that he's got very shrewd racecraft. A lot of the races that he won in the restricted category in 2024 were races like this, where he had a big pack of karts right under his rear bumper. Can he hold it together to take his first win at this level? Immediately behind him, the man who's been in form, particularly on the European scene in X30 mini racing in the last few months. George House, who's needing to defend now, had to defend there from Ozzie Gibson to hold on to 2nd place. There's going to be, it's going to be tight on the line as to whether we get 1 more lap, we get the final lap this time around, or 2 more. It'll all depend on if there's any seconds left on the board as they come round. 10 seconds to go. Might just sneak another lap in here. Davidson can't let off. Yes, they're going to come over the line with 5 to go, Nicole. 2 more laps.
Absolutely nothing in it in this race then, especially between the Fusions who are heading down the Dragon Straight really, really close to each other now. I can't imagine that these teams are sat there without their heads in their hands. I really think, mechanics are going to be on that sideline nervous watching this. Davidson hugs that tight line, defends from House once more. House still chasing, but no attempt just yet. Ozzie Gibson still continues to go faster and faster, still grabs that purple lap. You've got Clark getting all involved as well. Austin Newstead is in the fight, as is Harry Williams, your driver who grabbed the Opay at Wilton Mill. Here we go then, the clock has run out and this is going to be your final lap. It is still Alfie Davidson.
Whoa.
Davidson almost gets challenged there by George House going down the Dragon Straight, but closes the door to him. House has to concede that, has to let off, and he can't go for that position. Davidson being clever here as he heads back down the hill. Closing the door once more as they head into the double apex left-hander. Nothing in it between any of these drivers. Ozzie Gibson still there. Clark still there, as is Newstead. It is really XL versus Fusion.
Is indeed down through from the last couple of corners, down through compression, down through Devil's Elbow. Clark trying to hold on to 4th place there. Alfie Davidson out of the final corner is going to win here at GYG. On the line, George Clark takes 2nd place by 100th of a second from George House. Alfie Davidson, after the disaster at Warden Law, where he didn't even make the final here at GYG, takes his first Wera Tools British Kart Championships win at this level. Of course, won many a final in 2024 on his way to the restricted title. It's his 6th in his young career for Fusion Motorsport. George Clark takes P2 there, a really battling win in that drag race to the line with George House, and if I'm not mistaken, I think that is George Clark's best ever result in a Wera Tools British Championships race. Yes, he's never been on the podium, has George Clark, so 2nd place, a brilliant result there. George House 3rd, yes, it's not a win, but when you look at the top scorers so far this season, Nicole, you'd likes of Harry Williams, you'd likes of Colby Patterson, he's the highest of them. So in terms of championship, that's a pretty solid result for George House, and another podium for him in his tremendous 2025 season. 4th for Colby Patterson, 5th for Austin Gibson. Good points in the championship for them. Mason Hibbert, Austin Newstead, Oscar Kenny, Christian Nakobe, and Ilyas Sami, P10. That has got to be one of the best results for Ilyas Sami in his time in this championship. Harry Williams, P11, still is your championship leader at this point going into tomorrow's round. Luca Narroway, 12, Joseph Davis, Daniel Ferguson, Callum Graham all in the top 15. Ethan Robinson, Sophie Campbell, Henry Clark, Charlie Clough and Chester Fawkes complete the top 20. But how about that for Alfie Davidson? He spun the wheel and it paid out there. A big win for Alfie Davidson that I feel, Nicole, gets him back on track. We know how good Alfie Davidson is. We know his racecraft has been brilliant. It did not go his way at Warden Law at all. You know, those final results, P29 in the first one, didn't make the final in the second one. That is much more like it from last year's restricted champion.
Absolutely is. This was your race start then. We predicted it was going to be busy, and it absolutely was. I think within this stage, it really was George Clark that made the most of things. In the background, it was the likes of Andy and Johnson Schuett that just got caught out. This stage, we had the slow procedure stop and we went green once more. Drivers really capitalising off of this. The likes of Ilyas Sami, who managed to break into the top 10 for the first time within a British Kart Championships final. Fusion Motorsport, it was all going on between their drivers. They all kept it clean. They all gave each other that racing room. Davidson, though, out of all of the Fusions, was the driver that really caught the rest sleeping, managed to pass the rest of the field. Williams had a good go, but it wasn't enough compared to Davidson, and he was overtaken on top of the hill. Austin Gibson hustled Clark at one point, but like we said, Clark caught it back once more because he grabbed that second position in the end. George House looked like maybe he was going to grab that second place, but was overtaken by Clark and finished in that third spot. Davidson then really did defend. Bit of a masterclass, I would say, as they were going down the Dragon Straight. Closed the door to the rest of the field and crucially met the checkered flag as your race winner in Waterswift. A
very similar kind of performance from Alf to what we saw a lot last year in Restricted, like that ability to control the middle phase of the race and then break away right at the end. Very well managed race indeed. Let's head down once again to Piers Prior.
I'm with your Viratools British Kart Championship Waterswift winner at round 3, Alfie Davidson. Alfie, what a race.
Yeah, great race. From memories from Warden Law, it felt really bad, so may as well come and win here in GYG. Really happy.
It's a great circuit to go racing at, but you managed to dominate that race just about. Did you know how many karts were in a train behind you?
No, not really.
It was pretty much the whole field, but what was the decisive moment in that race for you?
Just keeping calm and just get into the front and just trying to lead the race, really.
There's a lot of Fusion drivers on the grid this weekend. I think at one point there was like 7 inside the top 10, but you were the leading driver. What was the difference between you and your teammates this weekend?
Well, we're just trying to push around as much as we can to get to the front and then just hopefully just fight for the lead at the last minute or something.
And you did. Congratulations, a great result. Alfie Davidson, I'll let you go and celebrate with your team and your mechanic and everyone like that. That was Waterswift. Wow, what a crazy race. We've got more action coming up. Next up is KZ2. Finally, they are having a session which is going to be representative of their round. Of course, it's round 2 for them. It's only a single header. That's up next after a word from our partners.
Welcome back, everybody, to Glan Y Gors. Andrew Mather and Nicole Sutherland on duties for you today. Nicole, getting ready for KZ2 qualifying, their third round of the season. We've already seen them with the IAMEs at Warden Law, and then we had the second round at your home circuit, Dunkeswell, a few weeks ago. Key stage of the weekend. We don't know what the weather's going to be doing tomorrow for any of our categories, but KZ2 included. What are you looking forward to with this one?
Well, I'd say with the part of the world that we're in, we can expect some mixed weather conditions tomorrow. But within qualifying for our KZs, I'd say keep your eyes on the Jade Racing team, the likes of Oliver Stewart and Ella Stevens. Don't count out some of your other drivers around them, though, because it's one of those circuits where you can be caught out really easily. One mistake, one slight fall off the track, especially in the undulating section, can really cost you.
There's a quick look into the CCTV room. David Manchester hard at work. Hannah with him as well this weekend, looking over all of the cameras. I think around 40 cameras out there on circuit, aiding the officials in their running of the event. In the inset picture there, you can see on the pre-grid our KZ2 drivers. Ella Stevens heads into this one as championship leader, of course. She took that lead at Dunkeswell. We had a little bit of a discussion about it earlier. All eyes on her now in a different way as championship leader. We've got Ollie Stewart alongside on that front bit of the pre-grid. I'm intrigued to see what Noah Wolf does this weekend as well. We've not seen him in the Wera Tools British Kart Championships action yet this year, but both you and I have been watching him race a lot in Europe.
Yeah.
In both OK machinery and KZ2 machinery as well. He's been doing very well, hasn't he?
Well, last week he was out in Viterbo in Italy in the OK class. This weekend he's still in a two-letter category, but swapped for the KZ. But expecting big things from Noah Wolf, of course. Won your O plate in the class, so he's fast, and although he's not been racing in the UK KZ2, he's been out in Europe, he's used to the machinery, and he's a quick driver just in general. He doesn't take too long to adjust to things. No,
he doesn't at all, and is properly maturing as a driver as well. So 16 drivers is the expectation for this session. It's only 6 minutes long. A little bit of news from earlier on. They had a non-qualifying practice earlier. How's that different to a free practice? Well, it's the same length as the qualifying practice. So it's effectively a simulation of what we're going to see here. Ella Stevens was fastest in that session on a 40.30. Now, of course, we've had a lot of changeable conditions across the course of the afternoon, so take these times with a pinch of salt in a manner. Miles Murphy was second fastest. You see him there in the Demon Tweaks number 5 machine. Great to have Demon Tweaks with us in the paddock this weekend. Could not do this championship without their support. Oliver Stewart was third. Jess Edgar has been very quick today. We've already seen success for the Edgar family in X30 Junior with George. Keep an eye on Jess as well, the other of the Jade Racing team, as sadly we will not see all 16 drivers in this race, because that is Ryan Green and his number 9 Kart, Nicole, being pushed away from the pre-grid. Going back to Jess Edgar then, Andrew, Jess actually didn't test yesterday, but she's come in today with great pace, which is really impressive. So, it's one of those. Keep your eye out for Jess, and of course your other female driver out there on the circuit, which is Ella Stevens. We can see her just chasing Oliver Stewart down the hill. Bit of an interesting qualifying here though, Andrew. I'd say they're all quite bunched up, I would say, considering it's qualifying. It's a bit of a different setup compared to your other classes. It's not a 3-lap average, it's a 1 lap. But they all kind of seem, quite close together as they head up through the hill. Yeah, you'd be mistaken, or easily mistaken, to think there might be a race on at the moment. Bryn Kinch is out, unfortunately. Bryn did get a lap time in a 46.04, but some form of technical problem means that Bryn will not go any further in this session. So still in the first half on time. We're about to get to the point of 3 minutes to go. Noah Wolf currently fastest, a 41.11. That was until then. Ella Stevens goes to provisional pole position with a 40.95. Nat Thomas goes to the top of the order for Rush Performance. Now, Rush Performance in those new Formula Ks took a big step forward at Dunk as well, of course. We had a chat with Charlie Turner about that yesterday during the build-up show. And they, well, were on top of the times because Noah Wolf has gone back to provisional pole position. 0.07 of a second in it at the moment. But it is the British Open champion, won that plate at Shennington. And the same weekend, actually, the IAME's had all their O-Plate meetings as well at Wilton Mills. So he's gone to the top, and as soon as we say that, Stewart now goes to P1. Oliver Stewart, new benchmark, 40.70.
And I think it's a bit typical now, Andrew, at this stage in today's, well, racing, this is qualifying. The sun has come out. Look at this for our KZ2s down there on the circuit, blessed with some dry qualifying. Aren't looking like they're dealing with any of that drizzle that was going on for some of our X30 classes. Ollie Stewart, though, who is on your screen, heading down the hill, is your fastest driver on the circuit. It's 0.04 between him and Nat Thomas now. Ellis Stevens, though, jumps up the order and replaces Thomas. Jake Weston now in the Sodi. He's now your fastest driver out there on the circuit as we head into that 1.5 minute mark.
Do indeed. Jake Weston takes that provisional pole then, 40.63 on the Sodi Vitesse. Kart number 7. There on your screens is Ashley Lewis in the number 4 Rush Performance Formula K. At the moment, P10 for Ashley Lewis. He'll be wanting to do a little bit better than that. There was the fastest driver on the circuit, Jake Weston, in that orange, black and white Sodi Vitesse machine. The gap is 0.03 of a second. 1 minute to go. Then Stewart goes back to the top of the timesheet and is immediately displaced, though, by Weston. The top 3 covered by 0.02 of a second. It's Weston from Stewart, from Stevens, and Wolf goes to the top of the order now. Wolf goes to a 40.46. So the tyres, the LeConte tyres, are coming on song here in the sunshine in Wales. The Welsh weather gods have shined down on us as the sounds of KZ2 thrill us here in the, well, just on the edge of the Snowdonia National Park. Drivers coming over the line now. This will be the start of their last laps, their last chances to take pole position for the heats tomorrow. Stewart improves to a 40.53, but there is your current fastest driver, who's wearing a different helmet this weekend, not his regular yellow and black one, but that is Noah Wolf on your screens. What was that last time around? 41.17. Checkered flag is out. Stewart has gone to a personal best through sector number 1, not quite so through sector number 2. They all need to find best part of 1/10 of a second here to take pole position away from Noah Wolf, but right now it would be a Jade 1, 2, 3. There's Lee Ward in the number 8 coming through the final couple of corners. Stewart, Stevens, Weston, Murphy, they're all over the line. Nobody's able to improve. I think Noah Wolf is going to be on pole position here for the heats tomorrow. Jess Edgar over the line, cannot improve. That is it. Noah Wolf on return to the Wera Tools British Kart Championships in a racing capacity. He was with us in the box for a bit at Dunk as well last time out, but he is on pole position for the heats tomorrow. He takes it by 0.04 of a second. Ollie Stewart was able to improve on that last lap, Nicole, but not quite enough for the Scotsman to take pole.
Not quite enough, but it's definitely enough for the Jade Racing team, because like you just said, Andrew, it's a 1, 2, 3.
Brilliant, brilliant stuff. Championship leader Ella Stevens, I think she'll be quite happy with that. 3rd on the grid, still at the sharp end of the field. Jake Weston 4th, the first non-Birrell up there. Good qualifying for Miles Murphy as well. That's a step forward. It's been a tricky season so far for Murphy. He'll be on row number 2. Jess Edgar 6th, Nat Thomas 7th, Charlie Turner and Ashley Lewis. So that group of Rush Performance drivers about 2 to 3/10 off the pace here today. Ralph Youngling 10th, Derek Morgan 11th, Daniel Sibilla in 12th, Lee Ward, Nino Piccoli, the last of those finishing. That's qualifying session. We'll enjoy this for a moment. These are all the practice starts and a little bit of a taster of what we can expect here tomorrow, Nicole.
Yeah, just teasing the audience then and what they can be in for tomorrow. That's Noah Wolf, your driver, who will be starting on pole position provisionally, just getting in that practice race start for you. Piers Prior is down there in Parc Fermé then. Let's hear from what Piers has to say about these KZ2.
Fastest class we have this weekend, the KZs, the gearbox class, the senior category, almost 90 miles an hour up the hill. Very, very quick. Great to have them back here at GYG. I can imagine it's quite a handful around this circuit. I've only driven a KZ once in my life at Shillington, and that's fairly standard. Round here, I imagine there's quite a lot going on. And I'm going to grab a word with some of our fastest drivers. Hoping to grab a word with Noah Wolf, but he's actually just coming in the pits now, the O plate. He did a practice start at the end of that session, so I'll grab a word with him in a moment. But I'll grab Oliver Stewart, second place in that one, once he's ready. If you want to go and get... No. Ollie Stewart, second place. There you go. Only 400ths off the fastest. Pretty happy with that?
Yeah, quite happy. I mean, we've kind of struggled for pace this weekend, and we've been working really, really hard as a team to get myself to where I feel like I deserve to be. And that session just went really well, so I'm really, really happy with that.
Yeah, you had everyone chasing you, but still just about managed to be the fastest of the group. The only driver faster was Noah Wolf. He was off the back of the group, so he had a bit of clear air, but only 400ths in it. Very, very close. So 3/10 would take you down to 8th place.
Yeah, that's mad. I mean, I was right on my own because I thought I might as well just go off the front. Everyone was kind of messing about trying to find track positioning, so I just thought I'll go by myself. And obviously he was in a good tow, so I'm really happy with the pace by myself. Obviously in a race situation you never know where you're going to be, so the fact that me on my own with no excuses was only 400s off, I'm pretty happy with that.
A great result for Jade as well. Jade racing first, second and third.
Yeah, unbelievable. Scott and Ross and everyone else at Jade have been working so hard to get our chassis and the engines to where they need to be, and they've been absolutely unbelievable this year, so can't thank them enough.
I chatted to you after one of the practices and you said that the engine wasn't quite where you wanted it to be in terms of just the way you were setting it up. Clearly you found something into qualifying.
Yeah, well obviously early on in practice we had a big C, so that wasn't the best, and yeah, we've just been tuning and working it about, and now we've managed to get ourselves to a really, really good baseline. Everything feels exactly where it needs to be, so I'm feeling pretty confident for tomorrow, and hopefully we can hook it all up and win a couple of races.
Yeah, we're second place, very quick in the dry. Oh, no doubt it'll rain tomorrow.
Yeah, well I think I brought the weather down with me, so not the best, but never mind.
Hey, never mind, congratulations. Second place on the grid. Second place there was Oliver Stewart for the Jade Racing team. Fastest driver, Noah Wolf. Come on over, Noah. My camera operator, Aviv, thought you were going out for a celebration there, but it was just a practice start, of course. Fastest in qualifying there, just 400ths of a second ahead of both of your teammates. Yeah. You must be pretty happy.
Yeah, the lap wasn't perfect. I could have extracted a bit more. I was setting up for the last lap, but altogether it came together nicely. And the weakness for me, the Achilles heel, is the start, so I needed to get the practice start well done, and I nailed it, which is good confidence for tomorrow.
Of course, and I was hearing from Andrew and Nicole that you've most recently been driving an OK, very different driving style to these KZs.
Yeah, it's a completely different driving style apart from the 600 gear changes a lap. But yeah, I've driven KZ in Europe now, so I'm getting familiar with it, and it's really fun to drive.
And you'll be going from the front of the grid tomorrow, the best possible starting position.
Yeah, best possible chance for me.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing how you go off the front row. The O play at Noah Wolf there, he's starting for pole position today. I'm going to grab a word with Ella Stevens, who is third place. Ella, can we grab a word, please, for the live broadcast? We'll come out into the sun. We might as well make the most of it while we've got it. Third place, Ella, very, very close between you and your teammates. Only 400ths to pole, just about pips, but still, that must give you good confidence going into tomorrow.
Kind of, yeah. I've been really fast this weekend, and obviously I hope to be on pole, so it's quite disappointing as I had the pace, and I just went quite a bit slower in qualifying, so I'm a bit disappointed.
Where do you reckon the time was?
I was just understeering quite a lot everywhere. I just had nowhere near as much grip as I have done all weekend, so...
I imagine it's quite difficult to set the car up when the track's changing so much, with it raining and then drying out and raining again.
Yeah, it's very difficult to find the perfect setup, especially around this track.
Yeah, tricky track. Well, what can you do tomorrow from third place, inside of the second row, so...
Hopefully I can win from there, but we'll see.
We will see indeed. Ella Stevens, their third place for the Jade Racing team. Great day for the Jade team, based out of Warwickshire, near where I'm from, actually. Great team. They used to help me out a lot when I was racing, and it's good to see them doing so well in KZ. Let's grab a word with Jake Weston, number 7. He was our 4th fastest driver. Where is he at the moment? There he is. Where's number 7? Jake. Grab a word. Jake Weston, number 7 means he was 7th seed in last year's British Kart Championships. Jake, 4th place, fastest of a non-Jade. You must be not too displeased with that. Only a 10th and a half off pole.
Yeah, it's been all right. Been having some issues throughout this weekend, so we'll take 4th place.
What issues have you been having?
Just mainly kart setup. Not really liking this track. It's a very abrasive surface, and it's killing the tyres off, and the chassis don't like it, unfortunately.
Chassis doesn't like it, but do you like it?
It's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. Well, what can you do for 4th place tomorrow?
I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll have to see.
We will see indeed. Jake Weston, 7th place there. Great to see him up the front of the order in the Sodi chassis. The Sodi, a French manufacturer. We've got many manufacturers, including the Formula K there. This is our number 4. That is Ashley Lewis. He was alongside Charlie Turner. They were 8th and 7th, respectively. They're still getting used to that Formula K chassis. I'm going to wander out into the paddock just to have a look and see what's going on out there before we round off the show, ready for tomorrow. We're heading out here. This is where the mechanics all enter the assembly area, and then the GYG paddock out here. Many of the younger drivers playing football, getting themselves G'd up. In fact, you know what? I don't think we can go too much further from here, so we'll head back into the assembly area, or the Parc Ferme area, see what the drivers are up to. It's been a great day of racing. We've had, of course, 4 final victors today in Junior X30. We had George Edgar, started the day well, had a bit of a dip in the middle of the day, came good in the end. Then in the Senior X30, Freddie Lloyd took victory. He's been very, very quick. 2nd place in the championship last year, looking to go one better. Harrison Whitcomb, our championship leader coming into this round, couldn't quite match the pace he had at Wardenlaw, but maybe tomorrow's another day. Then Waterstriff Restricted, Bodie Batch taking victory ahead of his teammate LBJ Stubbs. Great race that was, and I'll just get out of the way before we... no problem, no, carry on. And then, of course, we saw the Waterswift race with about 10 kart battle for the lead. It was Alfie Davidson taking victory. And then the KZ qualifying, well, they are going racing tomorrow for their 2nd round of the season. All of the other classes at their 4th round of the season tomorrow. Make sure you join us for that. That's at about 10:50 a.m. tomorrow, live on the Karting UK channel and Alpha Live's YouTube channel, and Motorsport UK TV as well, I'm informed. So join us for that. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's racing. Thanks to Andrew Mather and Nicole Sutherland in the commentary box. We'll see you tomorrow.